Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. I want to thank you so very, very much for clicking on any of my videos. I really do appreciate your time. My video this week is just about one finished project, but I do want to just point out real quickly this beautiful little dragonfly shawl that I made with Leading Men Fiber Arts red clay yarn. It's a beautiful, beautiful colorway, and I just love how the little dragonflies are so cute on there. So this one I made a little while ago, and it was sitting over in my stash, and I have been trying to clean up my finished projects pile. And so I thought I'd bring that one out and share it with you again because I love it so much. What else have I been doing this week before I show you my finished project? I did glue. If you saw the video where I dropped this and this little part broke into a couple of pieces, I hot glued it yesterday. I don't know if it's going to work. You can kind of see the line here and the line here. I think it's going to catch. It's not real smooth at all. So I thought I'd give it a shot. This came to me in a grouping of some yarn that I bought on eBay. This was in there as well as a little goodie. So I was real happy to get it because I didn't have one of these yet, and now I've gone and broken it. So hopefully that'll work. If not, I'll just be in the market for a new one. I have also been working on my virus shawl. Showed you guys a few weeks ago. And I've got about 40 grams of a cake left, but I'm kind of done working on it. I like to have a project that is, I don't really have to think about it, and I can just continue to work on it between my other things that I am thinking about. But this one's kind of been sitting there for a little bit, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm done with it for now. So what that looks like, I'm on the last row. I wanted to get to a point. It's got a 4-row repeat, so I wasn't sure exactly which row you're supposed to end on. But then I looked up a border for the virus shawl and found this really cute little, just very, very basic picot stitch. So here's where I stopped the repeat on the row where you're doing a double crochet and a chain one, skip one, and then every third stitch gets a little picot. So that'll be fun. It's gonna go quickly here, the rest of that border, and then I can put this down and be done with that. I was really, really loving how the colors went, and if you might remember, this yarn was used, excuse me, sister, this yarn was used on a different pattern, and I wasn't loving it. I had gotten through one whole skein of yarn and added the next one before I realized I didn't like it and frogged it all out. And so then when I started this one, I was super, super happy about it. But your eye might see it, and you may not care, but I do see in different spots, even just of the one cake before I even added the second cake, the orange in it is much stronger in this section of it, and then as it goes, the orange kind of gets pale. But then you can also see, I marked it on this side here. This is where one cake took me, down to this red stitch marker here. That was one whole skein of yarn. So you can see how much the color shades were not consistent all the way down through that last, where that red marker is. You can kind of see the greens changed out a little bit, the greens get stronger and the purple and then lighter, and then the purple gets stronger and then lighter. So with the other project that I was working on, it totally just looked like two hanks of yarn put together. I did not like it at all. The way that this one is sort of changing up what colors being strong and what colors being, a little bit lighter, it kind of changes throughout the entire thing. So I don't even care. I really like how this is turning out. Here is the full size of it. I'm going to turn around now. Here we go. Ta-da! So I really like the way that, the way that this took shape, especially after it was kind of on a fail situation. So super happy how that's turning out. I show you the border. It's not going to change that much on the grand scheme of things, so I don't think that I'm going to put this in another video. I think that was the last time you're going to see this one. Okay, so then, so you may know that I have been working on a Malabrigo Rios item, and this is a different colorway that I've got here. This one's called Sandbank. Just really nice, just kind of a plain brownish sand. There's nothing exciting about this. The color doesn't come in and out. You just have that one solid color. So I've got 4 skeins of this. As you may know, I had another color as well called Niebla, and I had 4 skeins of that, and the color on the last skein, excuse me, seemed very, very different to me than the other 2. So I went ahead and purchased another 2 skeins I found online. The hanks as they are now do not look like the color is going to be at all the same. You know, not only do you have the brown that's shading or toning in and out, but you've got the purple that's lighter in this than it was in the other skeins that I had. So not 100% thrilled. You know that's the way that the cookie crumbles when you're dealing with dyed yarn, hand dyed yarn like that. Your colorways are not always going to match. And I know I've seen, and I've got a comment in there, I should have responded to it by now, I apologize. I know that when you've got multiple skeins of a hand dyed yarn, you are supposed to go like every other row to trade the colors out, so it doesn't look like here's one skein of yarn and then here's another skein of yarn, like it's all mixed in there very lovely. But I was already like trying to calculate. Everything was math on this one because I had just enough, I think, to get me by, and then I don't even think that I have enough really. So that's why I bought 2 more. So once I did cake them up, they didn't look that different from the rest of the body of work that I'm doing, so I'm not that concerned. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So those just came yesterday or the day before in the mail, so I'll get started on those this week, and hopefully have something to share with you next week of that yarn. But in the meantime, since I had to go ahead and order that yarn, I wanted something else to work on. And so I grabbed a bunch of scraps, and I decided to work with them. And so as I started working with them, you know me, I'm just winging it. I'm not doing anything by the book, or, I don't usually measure stuff like I should and all that. So I was still undecided whether this was going to be a wearable or a blanket until I broke off to do the arm sections. And so I'm not 100% thrilled with this. And, anytime you're working with a scrap yarn, or in my situation, I just want to crochet. I'm a little less concerned with what I'm making than just the fact that I'm making something. I have to be working on it. I have to be moving. I have to constantly be in movement, or else I'm just going to lose my mind. So anyway, so I started with this group of scraps and kept changing my mind throughout the entire project, whether it was going to be a wearable and what kind of wearable, or if I was just going to play it safe and go with a blanket. So I decided to split off the arms, like I'm telling you, and make a wearable. And I get to a certain point with my scraps where I'm like, okay, I've run out of scraps. I have to introduce some new yarn. And then I'm not really happy because the new yarn that I've introduced is only at the end of the project. It's not like scrap yarn that I've used throughout the project. So that kind of gets with, messes with my feelings on, whether I love the item or not. So here I want to put it on, but I think I'm going to bump my table. So let me scoot you guys back just a minute. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! So, you know me, this is my 2 rows of double crochet done at the same time. I have a tutorial for this if you are interested in watching it. I knew it was too small, okay? I knew that when I was making it, when I decided to break it off into the arm section, I knew it was going to be too small for me. So this is more of a small adult size, but I can still put it on and show you. So my armpit, so I'd already had the length of this in one, you know, it's all one piece up to the arms where I stopped. And then I continued to do this section, continued to do this section, and continued the section from the arm break up my back. And then I wanted to do a single crochet round to kind of square off the edges so you can start to put, so I can start to do the section here in the middle, the border or whatever, lapel. And so I did that in the same stitch. So you can see here what 2 stitches done at the same time looks like. And then instead of just like a double crochet border or whatever, I did the same stitch here. So I like that very much. This is one of my favorite work it up really, really quick kind of stitches because, again, a double crochet is like the standard where you want to make blankets or stuff. But when you do 2 double crochet rows at the same time, you know, I'm getting this much done with each round. So I absolutely love this stitch. I use it on a lot of blankets. I like to use it with scraps because it just kind of changes it up and makes it lots of fun. I want to show you how long it is, but I need to back you up some more. Okay, so can you see? So here's my bottom. I just have like, you know, a little bit of length here past my bottom. I mean, I might get away with wearing it, but I feel like it's a little scrunchy and I'd really prefer somebody to wear it that was getting the right fit out of it. You know, I thought, do I want to do anything special with a collar? I really didn't. I did on the inside, on the wrong side, I did slip stitches, or I might have done single crochets now. I think I did single crochets on this one because I really wanted it to fit together. I didn't quite know what to do here. Again, I was just kind of winging it. I always have kind of a challenge on how to get this section the way that I like it. And then it kind of usually just flaps open anyway. So if that's, you know, your lapel look there, I could put a button there if it was going to, you know, maybe not choke me so much. I don't know, you know, buttons on the sweater. That's like something I want to do eventually. Work on some buttons on a sweater. So anyway, that's my Scrappy wearable that I made while I was waiting for my Malabrigo Rios yarn to come in. And so I've got, you know, like I said, I end up pulling some other bigger things in here so that I can get through my scraps. But then you get down to like little tiny pieces. And when you're doing 2 rows of double crochet at the same time, this little bit only gets you like 2 or 3 stitches. So doing all of the sewing in of the ends took forever. We all know that. All right, that's what I had working on this week. It is the first week of Lent, and so we went to have our Friday night date night. We like a place in Manchester called St. Joseph's that does a fish fry, and they do fish tacos, and my husband loves them. So we very patiently waited for Lent season to come around again so that he can go have these fish tacos that are amazing. But it's my Lent. Like, he doesn't even care. I'm the one who's observing Lent, and they ran out of fish, and so I had to have a fish taco, and it was okay. He loves it, but so I was kind of miffed at that. But then I had some great oatmeal raisin cookies afterwards they have for dessert, so that was delicious. What else going on this week? Nothing else going on this week that I can think of to share with you. So have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.